Hola, I'm Fivers and welcome to Grimlight. In today's video, I'm gonna create the tier list for Guardians. And before I start doing it, I want to make it clear that this tier list will be based on my own experience and opinion after playing Grimlight since day one. So like any other tier list, it won't be 100% accurate. But I'm sure it will be good enough to help new players to figure out which heroes are worth leveling up. I have divided the tier list in 5 different tiers: D the worst, C average, B good, A pretty good, and S the best. I want to say that in Grimlight almost every hero is useful, and that's why I have called the tier C average, because the heroes in that tier are still fine. The only heroes that I don't recommend to level up at all are the heroes in tier D. Let's do it. Starting from the bottom, in D tier we have Big Bad Wolf and Teen Knight, two 3 stars guardian. Big Bad Wolf is a 3-star 4-cost nature guardian. Honestly, she has pretty good stats, not like all the other 3 stars. The problem is that her kit is too poor. Her active skill just decreases the enemy's attack, she doesn't have a passive, and her trait just heals her 2% of max HP every 3 seconds. Teen Knight is a 3-star 3-cost water guardian with really low stats. Her active skill doesn't do damage at all, and it's just useful because she stuns the enemy's hit for 2 seconds. But it's not worth it to have an active ability just for this. She doesn't have a passive as Big Bad Wolf, and her trait gives her 25% magic resistance. In C tier we have Siegfried. He's fine but not incredible. Siegfried is a 4-star 3-cost light guardian. His stats are a bit higher than Teen Knight but still kinda low. His attack is really low, and that's why his active ability is just useful for the utility and not for the damage as Teen Knight. But he just reduced the attack of one enemy and knocked him back with the last hit. Honestly, the active ability of Big Bad Wolf seems better. Luckily for him, he has a good passive and trait that makes Siegfried useful as a second guardian in the team to buff our main guardian. His passive buff all allies defense by 20% of Siegfried's defense, and his trait gives plus 10% defense to all allies. So not only the main guardian of our team is going to receive a good boost of defense, the whole team will win some extra defense. In B tier we have Little Mermaid, White Knight and Red Knight. Little Mermaid is a 4-star 4-cost water guardian. Her defense is good but her HP is kinda low. She is a guardian without any damage output at all. She just deals damage with her basic attacks. Her active ability grants her some damage resistance, and she heals herself for 80% of her attack per second for 8 seconds. Her passive gives healing bonus to all allies every 3 hits, reaching a 30% healing bonus with max stacks, so the whole team will receive more healing from the healers or by themselves if they are able to heal like Little Mermaid. Little Mermaid is immune to stuns and knockbacks, and she applies Frost debuff with her basic attacks. This is pretty good. White Knight is a 4-star 4-cost light guardian. She has the second highest defense among guardians and a pretty decent amount of HP. She has low attack as Little Mermaid, but deal a bit more damage than her thanks to her passive. Her active ability just gives her 20% HP shield for 10 seconds. This is a huge shield that will help her survive longer. Her passive deals some damage to enemies in a small area, the damage is really low, and she reduces the enemy's attack by 25% for 5 seconds. To finish, her passive gives all guardians plus 10% physical resistance, so she is good to combine with a second guardian if needed. Red Knight is a 4-star 4-cost fire guardian. She is a bit different than the other guardians of her tier. She is more like a bruiser, so don't expect her to tank as White Knight, but her utility has the same value in my opinion. His active ability deals a decent amount of damage in a lane and removes all of the target's buffs. Then, her passive deals some damage and inflicts physical weakness to those enemies, so she's a good frontline if we play a physical damage team. In A tier we have Briar Rose. She's a really good hero. Briar Rose is a 5-star 5-cost nature guardian. She has better stats than the other guardians that we have just seen, but they are not that high for being a 5-star hero. But her kit makes her a really good tank. Her active ability deals magic damage based on her defense in a large area. Enemies hit have a minus 70% movement and minus 30% attack speed for 30 seconds. It's a really good debuff. The reduction of the movement is really good versus assassins. Her passive increased her defense by 20% every 2 hits, reaching 60% more defense as max. This is a really good buff. She heals herself little by little thanks to her traits, and she returns 20% of received damage back to enemies when they attack her, matching her design perfectly. Finally, in S tier we have Snow White. Snow White is a 5-star 5-cost light guardian. She is without any doubt the best guardian of all of them. She has the highest attack, the highest defense, and the highest HP among guardians. Her active skill deals a decent amount of damage and reduces the attack of the enemies hit by 25% for 10 seconds. Her passive is one of the best effects I have seen for PvE, and of course it's also useful in PvP. All allies on the field gain a 5% HP shield at the start of each wave. This adds an extra protection to the whole team, and as I have said, it's incredible in PvE because this effect happens on each wave. Her trait is also so good. When Snow White falls, she resurrects with 50% HP and is shielded for 3 seconds, usable once per battle, so yeah, she basically revives with half HP. And that's it for today's video. I hope that I have helped you. Thank you so much for watching, leave a comment, drop a like and consider subscribing if you wanna see more Grimlight content in the future, and see you in the next video. Ciao!